Welcome back to the show with our guest, Chris Pritchett from Chris Pritchett Architect. Chris, just before the break we were talking about when you visit the site and things to look out for, which is kind of like leading us into the next topic we want to talk about is managing the actual contract from a managing contract sense. Basically in terms of from my point of view for the viewers at home, the basic fundamentals of the contract consist of the variations, extensions of time, dealing with RFIs and progress claims. Chris, can we talk about these things and the importance of them and how to deal with them contractually?
Certainly, I always advise clients not to have variations if they can avoid getting variations once the work has started. I tend to do that because once the work has started, the variations can be quite expensive, probably more than if you'd actually price that in at the tender stage. The tender stage, the builder's more sort of competitive. Yep. As I said, try to avoid variations, but if a variation is needed, approach the builder, give him a clear scope of works, exactly what's needed for the variation, and ask for a price breakdown. That's quite important. And
the other important thing is to get everything in writing, like the scope of works as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There are standard forms that architects do issue, yep. And as you say, everything must be written down.
Yep. Now, in terms of, obviously, it's in the human nature in us all. It's inevitable that jobs do get variations, and from a renovation project point of view, there's never a good time to give out variations due to the costs involved. But if a client, is unsure halfway through the building stage, when is a good time if they want to review the drawings and make changes, if possible?
Well, like I said, if you can avoid it, do avoid it. But if you do need variations, probably as early as possible. Yep. Possibly at the framing stage when you've got more of an idea of space. Yep. And how big things are.
Yeah. So for the benefit of the viewers at home, the frame stage is when the structural walls and the roof is all up, and you've possibly got a roof on, and just before the electrician and plumber come in to do their rough-in. And as Chris mentioned, you've got a bit of an idea of your spatial, requirements, and you can see how the lounge or the tables are going to sit and all that. And then you can make changes to do with the electrical, plumbing, adding nib walls, and also changing windows for light, because you get a bit of an idea of how light is coming into the room. Now, obviously, I've mentioned before, we've got extensions of times and RFIs and all that. Now, can we, for the benefit of the viewers, how do you deal with extensions in time? And what are they commonly called? EOTs, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Basically, if you ask for a variation, which is likely to extend the contract time, the builder is entitled to ask for an extension of time, maybe a week or two, and he is entitled to claim cost for that, for extending the time. Obviously, you want to limit the amount of time that is extended, because basically you want the project finishing.
Yep. Yeah, obviously, the longer it takes, the more time, if you're not living at home, the more money you're paying for rent. And also the flip side to extensions of time, there's LDs, and how are they imposed in the contract?
Basically, liquidated damages are costs that you can claim back against the builder if he's late in finishing the work. So it's quite important at the start of a contract to determine the finish date. Yep. So you have to agree that and write that in the contract, and you then have to ascertain what those damages are, and that's usually done on a day basis. So you may decide that living in rented accommodation may cost you $100 a day or whatever, and you can then actually charge the builder for those costs. But those damages have to be ascertained at the start of the project, and you have to agree with that.
And also, if an issue that I've come across is if builders try and exclude liquidated damages, they're liable for common law damages, which is sometimes a fair bit more than a stipulated amount in liquidated damages. Yep. Another area where people do come unstuck is progress claims, and I'm a bit experienced because I was working for a large commercial builder at the time when this law came in back in 2004, is the Buildings Payments Act. Chris, can you explain to the viewers the importance of the Building Payments Act and how it affects normal clients on a normal renovation?
Yeah, that's right. That's the BSIPA. That's the act that came in 2004. Basically, if a builder makes a claim under the BSIPA Act, he has the client has 10 days to respond. If they're not happy with the sum that's submitted, they have to put in a payment schedule, which actually states back to the builder what should be paid actually. So they have to state the fact that the windows may be missing, so then they take that payment off. So it's very important that the client responds quickly. They have 10 working days to respond to that initial claim. BSIPA is just a quicker way of making sure that payments can be made without getting into large legal processes.
Yeah, because originally it was intended to help the builders get paid, but what I've noticed there in the industry is that builders have been a bit more scrupulous and putting in a phony progress claim for 100% when only 50% of the work's done, and relying on misinformed or ill-informed clients not providing a progress certificate, and then paying the builder at the end when he's due to be paid, and then the builder taking that to court. And I have seen judgments being made against clients who have been misinformed with the legal proceedings.
If you don't pick up the overpayment and you don't respond within 10 working days, you have to pay the full amount that he's claimed.
It's wrong, but that's the law that's come in.
That's right.
Yep. Well, I think it's time to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give the viewers at home, just a few pointers on just simple project management tips. We'll be right after the break, and we'll talk about project management.